Do you own a wedding venue? I do too. My name's Kristen Binford, and I'm about to share 4 steps that I used to book 170 weddings in 2021 and 2022 at my venue. Let's dive in. Is leading this training today. So like I said, my name is Kristen. I'm a blessed wedding venue owner, started my venue from the ground up 8 years ago. Right now we have about 170 weddings on the books. And every year we spend around $1,000 on paid advertising. Why that's relevant is because the 4 steps that I'm going to show you today are not heavily based on paid advertising. And it's also I've taken a different approach to this business, and I have some story and could tell you the background story about that, but it's not about me today. So I just want you to know that we've been able to book our calendar full of just amazing couples. I'm really grateful for that. And because we have taken a different approach, it's something I just really want to share with you today. So I wanted to also let you know, I think this will give you some context for what I'm sharing. I have served as a formal business coach to more than 150 wedding venues around and throughout North America. And guys, again and again, I love my coaching clients. They're amazing people. And they have said, what I'm teaching you today, what I'm sharing today has absolutely transformed their business and their lives. So I'm excited to share it with you if you are a venue owner as well. Now, I'm also someone who believes that there is more to this business than so many people achieve. I know that so many of us got into this business because we love to serve. We want to share our property, or we want to invite others into our dream. And I just know that so many people don't actually get there, right? They don't get their calendar booked out. They're working too many hours in their business. They thought this business was going to bring them freedom and joy, and actually it just has brought them a lot more work. And so I'm excited to share with you how that does not have to be the only story. So, and I do want to be clear, what I'm showing with you today, what I'm walking you through today is the strategy that I've been using at my venue. But guys, it isn't just me. These are wins from venue owners all over the country. I'm going to be sharing more wins with you today, but I just want to be clear. This is not just me who has been successful in working this strategy. Okay, so if we're going to talk about where we're going, we need to take a quick look back at how we got here. So now I'm going to start with 2014 because that was the first year that my venue was operational. I am super clear that there were, of course, venues operating prior to 2014, but really back then, it was the very beginning of this craze or this idea of opening a wedding venue. There were some early market competitors. There were certainly some people who already owned property and were hosting some weddings. Barn weddings were just starting to catch on as a trend, but this idea of purpose-built standalone wedding venues, it was still early in terms of trend. Back then, there were lower barriers to entry. There were just less regulations. There was less red tape. And that year in my business, we hosted 19 weddings. That was what we considered sold out and as much fun, quite frankly, as we wanted to have. So fast forward to 2018, guys, many, many more venues just in those 4 years were opening. And that's certainly not true just in my market, but that's been true around the country. And there was this kind of belief that or this feeling in the marketplace that everybody wanted in. And that's because opening a wedding venue seems like so much fun, right? And if you haven't been in the business before, maybe it looks like an easy, fun cash cow. That was really what so many people, I think, believed looking at this business from the outside in. What that created was this boom in the industry of so many new venues opening. And at that time, it was this build it bigger, build it better. If we do, they will come, right? If we build it, they will come. And what that resulted in is venues and venues coming into the marketplace, and more of them in the $1 million plus range in terms of build costs. Now, what that meant from a venue owner perspective is people were taking on much more debt. The risk was getting bigger. Guys, that year at my venue, we hosted 76 weddings. That was our sold out number in 2018. Now, in 2019, the market was booming. We were really heading rapidly towards saturation. And one thing you should know about me is I am a total nut for economics, and I love the business of owning a wedding venue. So guys, when I'm looking at the marketplace and when I was back in 2019, what I was noticing is that more venues were starting to discount to sell dates. And that tells me from an economics perspective that, hey, supply is no longer, demand is no longer exceeding supply. We're starting to see this kind of equaling of supply and demand in the marketplace. And that means that venues that didn't really have a lot of strategy around their business, or perhaps built something that the market didn't really need, we were starting to see some slippage in terms of calendars at that time. Now, especially for my friends who own high volume venues and who are already successful, some of those venues were starting to see a decline because there were new venues and so many new venues entering the market, right? Couples had more choices, especially couples had more choices of Saturday dates. Now, this was true in 2019. It certainly was true before that as well. But a trend that I saw in the marketplace was so often venue owners who were in the business were not paying themselves, right? They were putting it all back into the business, believing that if they just built a new bridal suite or paved their parking lot or added a new photo spot, right, that was going to be the thing that made their phone ring. That was going to be the difference that helped them build their business to keep up with all of these new venues who were coming into the marketplace. And there was just this belief that, like, that's okay. I don't have to pay myself this year. I don't have to work at paying down debt this year. Next year will be better. Next year will be better. I think that was just a prevailing thought and has been really true for many venue owners for a long time, right? Not paying themselves, putting it back into the business and believing next year will be better. So guys, if you have followed me for long, I've been coaching for a long time, and I was actively communicating in 2019 that 2019 could be your last best year ever. Because remember, back when we started in 2014, there were a lot of couples who wanted a beautiful venue. There were a lot less venues to choose from, right? Demand was in our favor. By 2019, the equation was really flipping on its head. And I had a belief from what I could see working with and communicating with so many venue owners that it could be the last best year ever was 2019. That is not because I had any idea that 2020 was coming. That was simply because so many new venues were entering the marketplace. Now, that year in my business, we were still growing. We hosted 89 weddings in 2019. Now, I want to share with you just a couple quick observations in addition to what I've shared year by year here after coaching more than 150 venues and having in-depth conversations with literally hundreds more venue owners over the last 5 years. So here were some realities prior to 2020. Market saturation was a significant issue before 2020, right? We were seeing that 2019 could be the last best year ever just because there were so many competitors in the market. And that was putting real downward pressure on the industry. That was already playing out in terms of venues discounting, in terms of it getting harder to book dates. And that was already showing itself in 2020 calendars for some venues. We've already talked about the fact that venue owners weren't paying themselves. They were putting it back into the business. They were not paying down debt. That was true prior to 2020. Venue owners were also, I heard this all the time, you guys. Venue owners were so focused on getting more leads. And I still hear this today, but it's this concept of we just need more leads. We need more people and more couples to be aware of us. But they were completely ignoring the fact that their existing strategy was leaving $10,000 or $20,000, sometimes more, of business opportunity on the table. The analogy I want to give you here is prior to 2020, it was like if you had a bucket and that bucket was filled with holes, you could shove more leads into the top of that bucket. But if you don't fix the holes in your bucket, more opportunity was just falling out of the bottom of that bucket, right? And that is because so many times venue owners were focusing on the wrong things. Now, here's an interesting observation. Prior to 2020, IDO clients generally were a part of the client mix. Right? IDO clients that we love to serve, but really challenging clients and couples who suck the joy out of this business, they were also a part of the client mix for many venue owners. And it was really challenging for many venue owners to understand why. How do I get more couples that I really love to serve? How do I better position myself to that ideal client. And guys, one thing that I saw time and time again prior to 2020 was that venue owners were working so incredibly hard, but not smart. And I don't mean that in terms of judgment. I just mean that in terms of opportunity. They were not protecting their time. So often venue owners prior to 2020 were working full-time jobs and working full-time in the venue, or if they were working full-time in the venue, they might be working 40 or 60 or 80 hours a week and lots of weekends. And one thing that I know about so many venue owners is we love what we do and we want to serve amazing couples, but we don't want to just buy ourselves a low-paying job. That wasn't probably what you got into the business to do. Guys, and then 2020 happened. And I don't have to spend a lot of time on this because we all lived through it. We know what it meant for this industry. Massive shutdowns, massive cancellations, postponements that you could absolutely still be feeling the impact of because it's monopolizing your 2021 dates without new revenue. Unfortunately, we all heard about venues closing their doors. Last year, we were hearing often about this idea of economic uncertainty, and I cannot tell you how many times I heard venue owners say, like, nobody's booking. That meant cash flow was tight. Oftentimes, clients weren't paying because they were unsure of the future as well. Unfortunately, we all heard lots of stories of couples threatening legal action against venue owners, and what that meant was the fear and the worry and the sleepless nights. And all of that wasn't just on the shoulders of the venue owner, right? That impacts everybody in our lives. That means we were dealing with stressed out couples, stressed out spouses. Our children can certainly see and feel the impact of what's happening in our business and our lives. It was a tough year. It felt like all bad news for so many venue owners. And I don't want to make light of that. But I also want to tell you that that's not the only narrative that was happening in 2020. So at my venue, I'm blessed to say that our reality was different. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way. I say that to say taking a different approach in your business can mean that even years like 2020 don't have to be terrible, right? They don't have to be terrible. So we were able to save over $100,000 in potential refund revenue at my venue. We were able to protect cash flow. And since the beginning of COVID, we've booked more than $800,000 in new revenue, and that's still increasing every day, right? So right now in the books in 2021, we have 103 weddings. Only 6 of those weddings are reschedules, and only 4 of the 6 are monopolizing dates we would have probably booked otherwise. And right now we have more than 80 weddings on the books in 2022. So I say that to say couples were booking in 2020, and they're certainly booking in 2021. Okay, so guys, here's where the impact of 2020 challenges are even more painful in our industry. It's creating compounding challenges. We already talked about venue owners have taken on massive debt. Oftentimes that debt is for 10 or 20 years. Or maybe you've borrowed hundreds of thousands of dollars from yourself. Guys, even in a great economy, this business is not a small or a safe bet. Optimism, which is a pretty core trait of venue owners. Who builds a building or buys a building and hopes that someone rents your Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays? You have to be optimistic to get into this business. But truthfully, that optimism, that core trait of so many venue owners got in the way of creating a sound business strategy. We just believed, so many venue owners just believed next year will be better. So many venue owners just believed, build it and they will come. And if you're one of them, I spoke to lots of folks who had that belief, and I absolutely see how it's fun to be around optimistic people, but it can absolutely be a compounding challenge after 2020. Now, guys, here's another thing that we saw happen last year, and unfortunately, I believe we're going to see the effects of this for probably a few years to come, but the industry really taught couples not to trust us. That means that in some ways, couples are going to be harder on venue owners moving forward. There was a lot of this, hard nose, no refunds, lack of empathy. We didn't plan for this either, kind of screaming from venue owners that I heard. And I get it, guys. It was tough, but there's no doubt that we, through that as an industry, have taught couples to keep their guard up. And we're going to see that play out in our industry for a few years to come. Now, the final compounding challenge here is that this has always been a trend-based time-stamped business. And what I mean by that is opening a wedding venue. What wedding venues were popular? What trends and styles were relevant 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Guys, that's changing all the time. This is a trend-based time-stamped business. And that means the opportunity will change. Something else will be what couples want next. And guys, after the catastrophic events of 2020, that just means that we've shortened that potential window. And I can tell you this because I also work with and speak to and coach prospective venue owners around the country. There is not a slowdown coming of people who are getting into this business. There are still many people who want to open or buy venues, right? And that's going to be a compounding challenge going into 2021 as well. So unfortunately, because of all of this, many venue owners are struggling to find and book IDO clients. That's not that different than 2020 and before 2020, but it feels different now, right? It's also a struggle to book them without discounting. I've been seeing a lot of discounting happening in the marketplace. We definitely know that it's been a struggle in the last year to navigate these conversations, the new questions from couples. None of that has been easy. It's been a challenge for venue owners to pay themselves, to keep a positive cash flow, and honestly, just to find joy and love for their business. So many venue owners got into their business because they really wanted to love and serve others. And that's hard after a year like 2020 in many cases. I get it. But guys, I want to switch gears here. I want to talk about, yeah, it's been hard. I get it. And I understand. And I have empathy for and appreciate it. And that has been the reality for so many folks. But who is actually winning? I told you at the top of this training that venue owners today are winning. So if they're winning right now, what are they doing differently? What do they know? What is different in their approach that's making that possible? Guys, some venues, mine included, are still booking their calendar solid, or they're raising their rates because they've earned the demand in the marketplace. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So here's the thing. In a nutshell, what I'm going to be covering with you next is venue owners winning right now have stopped relying on build it and they will come, or believing that we just need more exposure kind of advertising strategies. They aren't waiting for success in 2021 or 2022 to just happen. Instead, what they've done is exactly what I've done at my own venue over the last 8 years to book out our calendar. They've built their business around their ideal client. They find and fill existing market demand, and then they serve those clients better than their competition at scale. And that's what I'm going to show you next. So just hang tight with me here, okay? So guys, when you do this, you're no longer trying to get more exposure. That's expensive, doesn't work very well. You probably know that if that's what you've been aimed at for some time now. You're no longer discounting to sell dates or trying to come up with the next random promotion, right? What it really means is when you do this right, you have couples waiting in line to book your venue. And yeah, even after the challenges of 2020, okay? And guys, not just any couples, what's really cool about this is that when you've built your entire business around the needs and the wants of your favorite couples, the ones that you really love and want to serve, they're the ones who are filling your calendar year round, right? But they need to clearly understand your value so they can be delighted to pay your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday rental fees. Now, what's fantastic is that when you do this, you've built your business in a way that serves the clients even better, like you've always wanted to do. And I don't say this lightly, guys, and I say it from a place of this is my reality. You're actually able to do that working less so that you get to have time and joy and freedom back in your business, right? Because doing that, the process for it, it's simple. It's just not easy. But once you are able to find and keep joy in your business, guys, that is where happiness really lives. So guys, and I want to tell you that this is even possible when the market is down. And what I'm going to be showing you today, some of the success stories and the testimonials and the wins and the celebrations, guys, this is through and past 2020. Okay, so it is possible. So here's the bottom line. Venue owners who have done this have made 4 key changes in their business in order to thrive even now. And I'm going to share those 4 key changes in their business next. So hang tight with me. Okay, so here's the first one. Your ideal couple is where it all begins and ends. Here is what I know. The vast majority of venue owners getting into this business are great people. If you're hanging with me here and listening to this training, that probably describes you. But here's the truth. So often venue owners haven't stopped to really consider who their ideal client is. They're marketing to everyone. They're not really clear who they are specifically targeting. So the strategy, air quote strategy, was to build the venue and hope the right clients walk through the door. But right now, many venue owners are hoping anybody walks through the door. Okay, so you might be thinking, well, Kristen, it's fine to say you want more of your favorite couples or more of your quote ideal couples, but gosh, 2020 was hard. 2021, the start to 2021 was hard. So I'm struggling more than ever. Surely being more exclusive is only going to hurt my business. But the truth is, when you're marketing to everyone, your venue is just like all of the other unique choices out there. And here's the thing. Your venue is unique. I don't take that away from you, but so is every other venue. Couples are forced to compare apples and oranges. Being unique is not what makes hundreds of ideal couples book. Okay, so here's the most important question. What does your ideal couple really want, and what are they willing to pay for? What does your ideal couple really want? I'm going to say it again. And what are they willing to pay for? That is the most important question. And guys, please remember, lovingly, you're probably not a great representation of your ideal couple if you are listening to this training today. If you are not in the age demographic of your favorite couples, if you are not engaged or soon to be engaged, or even if you are, or perhaps your kid or your niece or your nephew maybe fits the kind of ideal client mode, just remember, guys, that that is a sample size of 1. So what this means from a practical perspective is that many venue owners need to check your ego at the door. What you think doesn't matter. What really matters is what does your ideal client want and need, and what are they willing to pay for? Because if you build your entire business around this key question and follow a step-by-step path to implementing this question in your business, this is where real sustainable transformation can and does happen. So here's a quick reality check. If you've built your business, your marketing strategy, or your sales strategy around, well, this is what I see other venue owners doing, or this is what some marketing guru who isn't a venue owner said to do, then guys, that's not built around your ideal couples. And this is not about just being service-oriented or having a big heart. You probably have that in spades. And it's not about mimicking what you see be successful for other venue owners. And here's why. Couples today are savvy. They know when you're trying to fit them into your box, when you're pushing to get the sale, or if you're more concerned with your own well-being instead of theirs. So if you're selling or have to sell, lovingly, guys, you're getting this wrong. Learning to sell better is not the real problem in the business. So here's the bottom line. This is where building a wildly successful venue begins, even in tough times, because it is crucial. If you don't know how to do this, don't worry. We're going to dive deeper into this today. So that takes me to key shift number 2, and that is to ask better questions. Now, at my own venue, we've sold out of dates we considered available every year since opening, and we've nearly doubled our rental rates since that time. Guys, we've booked more than 500 weddings. And I say this next part quietly because I'm grateful for it and I know it's rare, but in all of the weddings we've hosted, we've only had 5-star reviews from our couples. They're a joy. I've never had a bridezilla, I haven't been yelled at, and I haven't been threatened legally. I am so grateful for our amazing couples. So the question is, how do you attract your ideal couples and create the kind of success that you really want, that you really set out to build, and then sustain it? So it all begins with better questions. What is the problem you help clients solve better than any other venue? If you haven't stopped to think about that, guys, it's a fantastic question. How do you help your ideal clients clearly understand your value? Do they understand your value, right? Do they understand that you are the best choice for them and can't wait to pay your $3,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 rental fees? How can you make the process easy and seamless for them? These are examples of better questions to be asking in your business. And that all starts with building your business around what the market needs. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, you have to be an expert in understanding your incredibly local market. That's where it begins. This is not found in market data you can buy online or stats from big wedding advertisers. I don't care about that. I really don't. What you need to be is be the expert and understand your incredibly local market better than anyone else. Once you're able to do that, you can build your business around opportunities that exist in your marketplace and communicate a clear point of difference. The truth is, couples today have lots of choices. They need to understand why your venue is the one they've been searching for, guys. And the next piece is to clearly illustrate your value in a way that has clients saying yes. Booking couples and booking more of them, especially your favorite ones, it can be easier. It should be easier, okay? So here's why this works. It removes friction from the process. And guys, let me just tell you, the venue selection process is full of friction for couples. We as an industry have not made this easy. Another reason why this works is because most venues don't know how to successfully put this into practice, so it can be a true differentiator in your business. Instead, what most venue owners do is they look around at everyone else. They try to figure out what everyone else is doing. And what that means is we as a marketplace, everyone really starts to look the same. Without a process like this in your business, it's really just a race to the bottom. And that's not what you set out to build, I'm sure. So here's the thing. When you do this right, here's some of the benefits to the venue owner. You don't have to sell. Couples want to buy. Doesn't that sound like more fun? It's also sustainable and allows you to position yourself ahead of changing market dynamics, because one thing that has always been true, and 2020 just certainly proved that, is that the market will always be changing. It's also more profitable. It allows you to have a far lower ad expense because your sales and your marketing and your business strategy is targeted at your ideal clients. It helps you book out your calendar, not just peak dates. If you have Saturdays booked, great. But if you have Fridays and Sundays open or off-peak dates, guys, those are missed opportunities on your calendar. But when you get this right, you're finally able to pay yourself what you're worth. And that's just a lot more fun, right? IDO couples, lots of them, and meeting a need instead of trying to get better at selling, guys, that is what is so fun for us from venue owner perspectives, okay? But here's what's great. I love building systems and processes and strategies that aren't just great for us, they're also great for your couples. So what's lovely for your couples about this process is that the truth is they are forced every day when comparing venues to compare apples and oranges. Every venue is unique. So you're actually making the process easier for them. You're also making your value so clear that they're excited to pay your rental fees because they understand your value. And in many cases, they're probably getting more for their money than at other venues. And they finally get to find and work with you. The truth is, if couples are booking another venue, they're missing out on that opportunity to work with you. And if you are hanging with me here this long in this training, I know you've got a great heart and want to serve them and would take really great care of them. So it's a benefit to the couple to get to work with you. Guys, everybody wins. That's the kind of strategy and system and process I love to build into a business. So let's just talk about some success stories throughout today too. Like I said, it's not just me working the strategy in my business. Jeff is an example of a venue owner who has put this process in his business in spades, and I'm super proud of him. So prior to meeting, Jeff had invested nearly $1 million in the venue, and he was booking about 26% of tours. He knew that meant, and we knew that meant, that there was opportunity being left on the table for amazing couples who are walking through the door and not booking. Now, At that time, his price point was in the $5,000 to $7,000 range. And he was spending money on wedding directory sites, felt like they were a complete waste of money. He was posting on social media, but like so many venue owners that we meet and work with, he didn't really have a plan. And he was frustrated because the number of couples booking, he knew that could be higher, right? He knew they were capable of more. But like so many venue owners I speak to and that my team meets, he wasn't sure why. He didn't know what levers needed to be pulled or what changes needed to be made in the business. So guys, just about 8 weeks later, Jeff has actually been booking 80% of tours, which means he stopped wasting his time. And I don't know about you, but time is a precious, precious resource, right? I don't like to waste my time, and most venue owners don't like to either. What's also great is about 50% of those tours are booking within an hour. That means they're coming to the venue, they know the venue is the right choice for them, they understand the value, and they're excited to book. He's also raised his price point to $11K, and couples are excited to book, right? Because they finally understand his value and he's having fun. Isn't that one of the goals that we should all have in this business? Seriously, after 2020, I think it's a goal we probably all have in the business. So here's the core question. How do I build the kind of business couples will want to wait in line for, book before they are even engaged, and choose off-peak dates that will help you book your calendar solid? That's the question. So here's the bottom line. If you don't get this figured out soon, you could leave easily thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, or in some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars of lost revenue on the table. Because guys, we sell high ticket weekend dates. Once they're gone, they're gone. And if we don't book them, that is missed opportunity that we're leaving on the table that truthfully adds up quickly, guys. And you have to ask yourself, in this economic climate after 2020, can you afford that? Because missed opportunity cost is the most expensive expense in this business. And I say this with love, but just because you're not booking your IDO couples right now doesn't mean they aren't booking their venue, right? And one thing we all know about this business is a couple doesn't book two venues. So once we've missed them, we've missed them. And the truth is, couples are booking. We have booked as many weddings since and during COVID-19 as we did in 2019. Couples are still booking. So the question is, can you afford to wait and hope and guess in 2021? That takes me to shift number 3. Marketing in 2021 and beyond has changed. Couples need you. Right now, your IDO couples are out there and they need you. And they're going to be booking your competitors if they haven't already. But they don't know you are what they've been searching for yet. Here's the thing. The old way, guys, it isn't working. Whether you've done one or all of these things, they'll probably sound familiar. If you're relying on build it and they will come, didn't work well before 2021, certainly not working now. If you're discounting, guys, not a good strategy. Every dollar counts, probably more now than ever. If you're copying what you can see from other venue owners, that's just the tip of the iceberg of what makes a venue successful. And truthfully, it's not you being the best version of you. If you're randomly posting on social media, or if maybe you're thinking about or have given Facebook ads a try, that's truly absent of strategy. That's random tactics, not really pointed in any given direction, and that's not going to radically change your business. Perhaps you're like so many venue owners we've spoken to, and you're wondering how you can stop being ghosted by writing a better email response. And I would lovingly say, I get it, but that's not the right question. Answering an email better is not going to change the direct trajectory of your business. If you're convincing yourself that this is just how it is for everyone right now, we've already dispelled that's not true. Maybe you're wondering if those marketing gurus with the magic potion might help. All of their ads, guys, I'm a venue owner. I see it too. They pop up in my newsfeed. Or maybe you're believing that there's just this one thing that you're missing in your business. This one thing that's going to change everything. But there's not one thing, you guys. It's just waiting, hoping, and wishing. That's what that all adds up to. The truth is, fear creates inaction. And so many venue owners can't afford that right now. Here's why this is a terrible approach. It's reactive at best. It's not proactive. And it's letting the market control your outcome. And after 2020, the last thing that I would be relying on is the market to just give me the number of bookings and the number of amazing couples that walk through my door, right? I don't want that to be happenstance. It also means that other venues are booking your IDO couples, and you're likely losing out on that $10,000 or $20,000 a month in bookings or even more. And guess that adds up quickly. The opportunity cost in this business is real. If you sell Saturdays for $5,000, it doesn't take many missed Saturdays or Fridays or Sundays over the course of a year to add up to $50,000 or $100,000 in missed revenue or more. Okay, so but some venue owners are winning, so there has to be another way. If that doesn't work, what does? Remember, the biggest question is how do you build your business and therefore your market strategy around demand from your ideal clients? And guys, this is what I call the venue accelerator method. I have been using this strategy, been working it, been honing it year in and year out for 8 years in my business. And what I'm going to share with you next is about transformation, not tactics. Okay. So often we're talking as business owners about what new flavor of the month idea or tactic there is out there, what new platform to use, right? That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about transforming your business. And more than 150 venues around the country and around North America have been leveraging this strategy. It's designed completely around the ideal client and it's scalable. That means that as your business grows, as you have more ideal couples, you also get to have more time and more joy, because more bookings don't just equal more freedom in your life. I can tell you that beyond a shadow of a doubt. So I'm going to quickly give you an overview here. So we've already talked about building your ideal, the bottom layer here, building your business around your ideal client and market demand. So that's step number one. Step number two is then from there, the decisions that you've made to use that and leverage that to turn your website into your very best salesperson. Here's the thing about your website, guys. If you worked with a designer or a developer and maybe they asked you what you wanted or what information you wanted to share, or maybe you built the site yourself from looking around at other venue websites and looking at what you liked, so that's how you built it, guys, none of that is built around your ideal client. And the reality is, because of the way couples shop online today, your website is either your best salesperson or it's your biggest missed opportunity. There's rarely a point in between those 2 points. I'm going to say it again. Your website is your best salesperson because of the way couples shop and buy today, or it's your biggest missed opportunity. Okay. So step number 2 is to turn your website into your best salesperson. Once you have done that, then it's about how do I effectively use social media and other forms of free advertising to drive more amazing couples to my website. Okay, that's step number 3. From there, the goal is to pre-qualify couples before they come out to visit, because I don't know about you, but like Jeff, I don't want to be booking just 26% of my tours. I want to be booking 50, 60, 70, 80, or 90% of the folks who come through the door. That is a good use of my time. And to do that, I need to pre-qualify couples effectively before they come out to visit. And finally, the final step is to create community. It's such an opportunity in this business to truly create community among couples in around your business so that they can help fill your pipeline and your calendar for years to come. Okay, so now I want to just tell you a couple quick success stories. So I want to tell you about Angela. She is awesome. When we met, she had only hosted 3 weddings. She had 4 in the book. She was brand new. In the first 6 months, since we met, right, since we worked together, she has raised her prices. She has hired a team who booked weddings for her while she was on vacation. And she had booked 41 weddings as a new venue owner, guys. She is totally rocking it. Here's just a couple quick wins. So she said in the last 14 days, we did 19 tours, 10 have already booked. Quite a few midweek weddings. Last week, I did 8 tours and booked 9 weddings. amazing. She is totally rocking it, right? I also want to tell you about Jennifer. When I met Jennifer, she had 0 weddings booked. Truthfully, she hadn't even broken ground on her venue. In the first 8 months since we worked together, and only with a concrete slab poured, she had booked 45 weddings, and they were her ideal couples. Guys, that meant she had $180,000 in revenue booked in 8 months, and that wasn't even counting their bar bill that they were going to get from those couples as well. Guys, now just a couple of months later, they have over 100 weddings on the books. These are a couple of wins from them. Oh my gosh, I just did it. I got a tour request, all these comments. I didn't even have time to tag you, Kristen. Thank you. I booked 3 weddings yesterday. I'm just blown away right now. We've booked our 5th wedding since Friday. So they are just absolutely rocking it. So here's the bottom line. You don't just need more exposure or hundreds of junk leads. You need a marketing strategy built on your business strategy aimed directly at your ideal couples, guys. And this is where so many people miss the mark. So many people even come to me and come to my team asking about like, what's a better advertising strategy that I need? And I just want to set the expectation here that if you're asking that question, ask a better question. What is the marketing strategy that I need built upon a sound business strategy aimed directly at my ideal couples? That is the real question. So if you really don't know how to do this, don't worry, guys. It's a strategy that I have taught successfully to other venue owners for years. So that takes me to shift number 4, transform your business and your life. I want you to take a shorter path. If you've been struggling, guess what? You're not alone, but figuring out how to create different results on your own is slow and it's expensive. You might be feeling stuck like so many venue owners are right now. So the truth is, success only begins with bookings. Now is the opportunity to transform your entire approach to the business for scale and for joy. That starts with attracting your ideal couples before your competitors do. And it also stacks from there and allows you to get back time with your family for your other life passions. Now is the time to build a successful strategy for your business so that year after year, or when the next crazy thing happens like 2021, right, that you are in a strong position to lead and to come out stronger. The truth is, market change creates opportunity, but only for those who are looking for it and willing to operate differently. Here's another quick success story. Here's Jeanette. I met Jeanette. Now, let me tell you, she had built a venue. It was already very successful. She had lots of bookings. What she didn't have was time or joy or freedom. She was working insane hours. She was losing joy, in her words, very quickly for the business, but she also knew she had an opportunity. She knew there was enough market demand that she could build another venue successfully and own 2 because the demand was there. But she didn't want to do that if that meant she had to give up her life, right? So literally in just a few short weeks, Jeanette, oh my gosh, she made me so happy. Her heart made me so happy. She got her life back. She said, Kristen, can you help me get my life back? Working with Kristen was life-changing. I don't get emails, or I don't answer emails at 11 p.m. anymore. I don't have to take 50 phone calls a day, and I have my life back, right? She's doing great. She's hired a full-time manager at the venue. She had booked 30 weddings at the last week alone. Like, she is just absolutely rocking it. And after putting this process into place in her business. So just remember, bookings plus scale plus freedom equals joy. It's not just one, it really is all 3 to create joy in your business, especially sustainable joy. So here's the thing, bookings matter now more than ever. Every wedding you don't cost is probably costing you, every wedding you don't book is probably costing you between $2,000 and $10,000 more if you have other service lines. It's adding up quickly and it's impacting both immediate cash flow and the long-term success potential of your business. Because like I said, more venues are still opening even after 2020. So if you want more ideal couples, booking, scale, freedom, and joy, everything we've talked about today, here's what to look for in a coach and a strategy. Now, here's my suggestion. Look for someone to teach you who has built this business with success from the ground up, because that's not a guru, that's not a marketing coach. It's someone who has lived in the trenches, building a successful business a successful venue from a sales, marketing, and operations perspective. Unfortunately, guys, there's lots of, quote, experts out there claiming to be the experts for venue owners. And I know that because they call on me, because I'm a venue owner myself, and because I've created community where lots of venue owners kind of hang out and reside, and they would love if they could partner with me and pitch to that community. And guys, I get to see behind the scenes, and usually they have 1 or 2 or maybe 3 venue owner clients, but marketing people are good at marketing and sales people are good at selling. That doesn't mean they understand this business and how to fill all the holes in that leaky bucket from the inside out. So you should also know, guys, and I say this with love, but it's something that you should know. The impact of 2020 forced a lot of people to pivot. So that means there's a lot of new marketing experts out there who just started consulting other wedding venue people, wedding industry people, when their original wedding industry business took a hit, when it took a downturn in 2020. And here's the thing. Guys, marketing a wedding venue is not the same as marketing other types of wedding industry businesses. They're just different. One's not better than the other. They're just different. But it's different because we as venue owners have to attract the business first. That's different because we don't have the benefit of having a lot of referral business. Truthfully, it's possible, but it's not. Venues are more often in the seat to be referring to other wedding industry businesses. So guys, just keep in mind that the last thing that you want after 2020 is someone who is new to teaching and education and then be practicing on your business, okay? So what I want you to do is look for some support from someone who has helped others transform their business successfully, right? Information is somewhat useful, stories are somewhat useful, but it doesn't change results. And what you need in 2021 is truly transformation of the business so that the business results can look different. Look for someone who's been using what they teach for years and have multiple years of success track records for clients. Like I said, the last thing that you want right now is for someone to be practicing on your business. And finally, look for someone who has helped clients scale. What works at 20 weddings a year doesn't necessarily and often translate to building a business that works well at 50 or 75 or 100 weddings a year. And even if your goal isn't 50 or 75 or more weddings a year right now, that's okay. But you can, and that's absolutely okay long-term. But my point is, it could be one day. So make sure you're building your business and your infrastructure to scale so that you have that choice down the line if you want it, as opposed to having to rip the business apart to build it back up in a way that actually can grow. So guys, remember, the cost of doing nothing is massive. If you take nothing else from this training today, what I don't want you to do is continue to stay stuck. The cost of doing nothing is absolutely massive. And you just have to ask yourself, what opportunity cost are you willing to miss? How many high ticket Friday, Saturday, and Sunday dates that expire are you willing to leave open on the calendar to continue just hoping and wishing and waiting for something to change, or to continue believing that this is just the way that it is? So guys, if you want more couples, revenue, freedom, joy, stop guessing, get the help that you need now. 2020 may have been the biggest challenge we've ever faced in this business, but the impact of 2020 is not over yet. This is a trend-based business in a saturating market, and it's a time that things still aren't certain. Now is the time to take a new approach if you're ready for different results. So guys, here's what we talked about today. Today, we talked about what venue owners are doing right now to be winning, what they're doing differently in 2021. Here is a quick recap. They've built their business and their marketing strategy around market demand and quit relying on random hope and wish marketing tactics and junk lead sources. They've transformed their strategy so that they can have a business that's built to scale and actually serve couples better, so that as they book more weddings, they have more time and freedom and joy in their lives. And guys, the time to do that is now, right? Why wait? Other venue owners are booking weddings. They're booking great couples. They're booking your couples. Why not you? Why not you? That's my question. So here's the thing. you have two paths at this point. You can go on about your day. You can file your notes away or your thoughts away in a folder, maybe come back to them somewhere down the line, or you can choose a different path. You can take action. And what I want to see you do is not stay stuck. There's opportunity. It's available now. There are amazing couples that would love to know you and know your business and know what you have to offer. But that means that you get to choose to take a different path. Okay. So guys, if you're really ready for your business opportunity to look different, here's how we can help. My team has set aside time to connect with you. The truth is, we've lived and we've thrived through 2020 and into 2021, and we're really, really grateful and have grateful hearts and love sharing that with others. We also have a big list of amazing venue owner clients who are winning, and they're taking intelligent action in their businesses now. They're not sitting by waiting for the world to bring them exactly what they want. They're being action takers in their businesses. So if you book a call with my team, here's what I want you to plan for. I want you to plan for 45 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more, especially if there's a couple people on the phone. But we're going to dive deep into your business. On this call, you're going to feel both supported and, quite honestly, you're going to feel challenged. Continuing to stay where things are comfortable doesn't change the trajectory of your business. We're going to talk about what's working, what's not working. We're going to talk about the new challenges you're facing in 2021 and where you want to go. Through this conversation, we'll get clarity on three things. We'll get clarity on who is your ideal client, on the opportunities that you're missing now, and the gap between where you are and what you really want, and the real reason for that gap. So guys, even if that's all you get from the conversation, that clarity can be transformational to your business. Here's the reality versus opportunity. I've been doing this for a long time, and I know you're missing opportunity right now, and you know it too. You wouldn't have hung with me this long if you didn't realize there was more that you wanted from this business, right? And I know now is not the time to be missing that opportunity. You deserve more, and it doesn't have to be this hard. So what's the catch? You're probably asking yourself that question, and I get it. So your question might be, what does booking a call on your team's calendar cost? And the truth is, it's free, but we have some expectations. We expect you to show up with an open heart and an open mind and be ready to dive deep into your business. Because we have to be able to have an open and honest conversation to help you. That means you need to show up to the call that way. And here's the thing, we need all venue owners to join the call. There's too much happening in the marketplace right now. All venue owners need to have a seat at the table. This is going to be an important discussion about your business, your vision, where you want to go, and what's stopping you from getting there. So I want to be clear who this is for. Booking a call on our calendar is for venue owners who are open and operational, building, breaking ground, or buying a venue in the next 120 days with Saturday rental fees ranging from $2K to $10K. Now, if you're all inclusive, that's totally fine that you're more than that price point. But if you think about it from a rental fee only perspective, $2K to $10K is really the folks who we are best able to help. So if you book full wedding weekends, that's also not a problem. This just gives you a container to be helpful to know who we help the best. So you also need to be legal. We can't help you get permits. We are not here to help people do or get into or be in this business or book couples and not be permitted and zoned appropriately. You must be legal to book a call on our calendar. And you need to genuinely care about your couples and your business. It can't just be one or the other. I also want to just briefly share who this is not for. Please know that booking a call on our calendar is not for prospective venue owners working on their funding or their business plan. It's just not the time to book a call yet. And it's not for jerks. I'm just keeping it honest here. If you have all the answers, if you're not willing to come and be open and honest and have a really good conversation about your business, let's be respectful of both of our time. Okay. So you might be asking yourself, why do we do this? It's a really good question. The honest answer, guys, is we're blessed to be successful. and we genuinely love to support other venue owners in their journey. I really feel like coaching other venue owners is part of my life work, and it's part of what I'm here to do on this earth. So we also love to see venue owners win, right? These are just a couple quick wins that I've heard super recently from my coaching clients. We have 5 tours scheduled this week, and thanks to your awesome guidance, we book about 90% of the tours we do. We've tripled our weddings. We're so close to hitting our 2021 goal, 80 weddings booked. We booked our first wedding 7 months ago, and I just sent out our 75th contract. I booked 2 out of my 3 tours yesterday. The third is really interested, and I have 7 solid leads when I slept last night, right? Guys, I love seeing venue owners win. It's even more fun than winning at my own venue, to be honest. So guys, if you want to book a call, if now's the time, if you are ready to be an action taker, here's how you do it. You can click the button below this video, or you can visit kristenbinford.com/accelerator. That's kristenbinford.com/accelerator. Okay. Now, after you book a call, we will call you at the time that you scheduled. I want you to please pay attention when you're booking a call. Pay attention to the date and time that you booked. Sometimes our calendar books a week or 2 in advance. So it's important that you pay attention to the date that you book, but we will call you at that day and time. Okay. So I want to remind you that you didn't come this far to only come this far. And I don't just mean in this training, I mean in your business. So let's connect before more opportunity slips away. If you're feeling stuck, if you want more couples, time, joy, or freedom in your business, if you're tired of guessing, tired of leaving opportunity on the table, or if you just aren't sure what you need, but you're sure something's not working, book a call and we'll help you get clear on it. Okay. Guys, my name is Kristen Binford. Thank you so much for joining us here today. To book a call, kristenbinford.com/accelerator. See you soon.